Another step.
Were you surprised that you were able to steal him away from some of those Pac-12 schools?
I don't know about surprise. There are a lot of players available.
Yeah.
You have to go different places to get them, but and that's what I found from my time here. There are plenty of players out there, some with different stars, but you do your evaluation, and that's what we did. Bennett was a guy that had a lot of interceptions. He played corner, and we projected him to play safety. It's not like it surprises. He was kind of who we thought he would be.
When you look at him and see his corner film, what made you think that he could be a safety at that next level?
Well, I think at safety, you first a little size, ball skills. He intercepted football. And you look at, him as a student, great student, high test score, everything you're kind of looking for. You kind of saw him being a guy that could be the quarterback of the secondary.
What's his impact been on this culture that you're trying to build?
Good, like a lot of guys. A lot of the freshmen have been doing what they're supposed to do. Looking forward to year two.
He didn't get as many reps as he might necessarily have wanted throughout fall, but how's he transitioned with that?
He got all the reps that we felt he needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think enough reps to get him where he needs to go.
What's his ceiling? What do you think he could turn into eventually?
Hopefully, the sky's the limit. Best player he can possibly be.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Hey, Coach, speaking of reps, for the guys that you have pulled out for whatever reason, for precaution, that kind of thing, guys returning from injury, is that a kind of a delicate balance trying to figure out how many reps to give them so that they get the training they need versus not an injury? There's a risk always, huh?
No, I don't think it's that hard of a balance. If the guy's healthy and he can go, he'll go. If he has an injury, like for guys to be able to get every rep, but it doesn't happen like that. If a guy has gotten reps and he's a veteran and we've seen him, but if the guy is healthy and he can practice, we will. If there's some issue that we have where he doesn't get any reps, when that's the case, you have other players that need to get reps. So guys, to me, it always kind of works itself out a little bit. It's like that during the course of the season too. Guys get injured; they may not get as many reps. They need to also learn how to take advantage of a mental rep when you're not actually out there.
So it doesn't necessarily put them behind
We're not looking like that at all. There's plenty. We've had, we've been here 3 weeks. 3 weeks of, it's not a 4-hour rule. We expect good play from everybody, whether you got every rep or not.
What about the guys, like the quarterbacks that don't get hit during training camp? That first time that happens, how rattling can that be to these guys?
Oh, I think most guys kind of know the system. That's football. Quarterbacks don't. Nobody's quarterback gets hit. Probably in high school it didn't get hit an awful lot. So college, NFL, that's just a part of it. We don't tackle and go down and chop block and do all that. Yeah, there's a balance that you have to live with.
Mike Dudek's been out there pretty much, every day, taking his reps during training camp. Just, back 100%. What do you expect from Mike this year?
Good play, and just not from the wide receiver position. You've seen him as a punt returner too. He worked pretty hard to get to this spot where, now he has to be reminded that he was once injured. Once it start winding down a little bit, this first game started to mean a little bit more. Mike last year coming out, just feel like we're going to get that Mike Dudek that you guys have seen, and I haven't, but anxious to see him this year.
16 days into this in the training camp, how you just kind of seen the wide receiver corps shape up?
A lot of guys have stepped up. Sam Mays, Kamani Green, Dominic Stampley. There's reps to everybody, and spread offense. In a 3-receiver set as much as we are. 3-4 receiver set. We've gotten a good look at all of the guys, and like the inside options we have, of course, like the outside option. And then you still go to our one outside receiver, and Ricky Smalling. He's healthy too. Gotten a lot of great reps, so we're confident going into the season.
How have you seen that group kind of grow from last season to this year?
I'm sorry?
How have you seen this group kind of grow from last year to this year?
It's just that. In all ways. When you say grow, what you expect them to do is become better blockers, catch the ball better, know the offense, less mental mistakes. So, and that's what happens once you keep going. You start training camp, you're not going to get entertained each night. It's just a grind. Next day. And you just work to get get better each day, practice to get a little bit harder. That's where they are. They're in a good state. our receivers not only catch the ball, they'll block too.
You mentioned Ricky. He's kind of set himself apart from as the top receiver of this group. What kind of play are you expecting from him this season?
Playmaker, for you to say that about him. I mean, he'll block. One of the toughest guys, one of the toughest receivers you'll go against. One of the most competitive receivers. Can jump, catch, run good route. And what I've seen too, studying the game as a receiver, knowing what the defensive backs are being taught and how to set them up, man-to-man coverage and things like that. That's normally what happens when you stay in the game each year, just not, what you do on the football field. The middle part of the game you grow with too.
You mentioned Bennett being one of those culture guys that you want to shape this program around. Is Ricky another one of those guys?
Absolutely. But there's a lot. I mean, every freshman, we're pointing out a couple of the skill guys that catch interception and catch passes. But, I mean, the culture is, the front. Bobby Roundtrees, Alex Pelchusky, those guys, Kendrick Grange, Tymir Olivers. I mean, those are the guys that's changing our culture, the guys that are smacking each play. They're changing Illinois football.
Are you still in full camp mode, or have you started working on a little bit of prep for Kent State?
We're not necessarily prep for Kent State, but we get that each day going against the offense defensively. Most teams, run similar things, offense, defense. So we're getting some of that, but just actually going into full-fledged, game week for Kent, we haven't done that yet. This week, Friday and Saturday, that'll be the prep for the following game.
You plan to do captains same way as you did last year?
We're gonna, vote for captains Monday. As much as anything, I'd like for the guys to go through, have a total body of work from the end of last season, all season program, right up until game week. Then we'll vote for our captain.